You're listening to 182.3, Care What People Think.
Welcome back to the Care What People Think podcast with your host. I almost said co-host because I'm so used to Ryan telling
with your
me
co-host Ryan and Will as
the host,
the lead host. Yep.
So the lead host today. Today we're talking about how to make a difference, and pretty much including volunteering and staying connected within your community, and the importance of that. Because unlike some people that be staying on TikTok every day on the couch and you're 12 years old, making a difference is actually cool and important. So that wasn't scripted at all. Also, it actually wasn't scripted, but it sounded fake.
It's also crazy to target our target audience as well.
Oh, yeah.
12-year-old TikTokers.
I should have said 8-year-old TikTokers.
Yeah.
They're like number one percentage, really. But starting out every episode, just like regular, with what we're proud of. Today, I'm going first. Well, I only go once. The thing I'm proud about is the last 4 days. Actually, I think this whole week. I actually went ahead and meal prepped like fully for dinner every single day, and I already had I went to like Trader Joe's and I bought some chips and snacks and like last resort kind of microwave meals for the week after. But then I actually went and bought steak, and I made mashed potatoes, which I've never made mashed potatoes for like a whole week before.
Did you make them like from
pretty damn
scratch?
Good. Yeah, I made them from scratch. So originally, like, I think before I've got like, actually no, I haven't even. Since I've moved out, I've never even like touched doing mashed potatoes as part of a meal. But I made it from scratch. I bought some potatoes, put in some butter, garlic, almond milk, because your boy can't have dairy. And I'm not gonna lie, they take kind of a while to make. It's a pain in the ass. So it's good that like if you don't meal prep on Sundays, because you don't have time any other day of the week. And yeah, then you are set for the week. But I had steak every day. I had it marinated in some barbecue sauce, which was awesome because that was also a different, like, I don't know. I guess I've really never like cooked like consistently like that, I guess. So I've also never just like made steak and mashed potatoes together and
Really?
or just made it for the week. Yeah, because I usually like if I'm gonna like make a steak, I'm low key making it for that night or the night and the next night. I'm not buying enough for like.
Okay, no, that's fair. I've meal prepped about 4 or 5 times now, and for me personally, I've realized that I just get kind of sick of the food. I'm not saying it's like bad.
That's fair.
But I also like, for example, if you make steak and mashed potatoes, I would have the steak like have different flavors because I would like marinate it with different things, you know?
That makes sense.
That way I wouldn't
for the
be
difference.
like, yeah, I don't know, because then I was like, oh, dude, really? I'm gonna have green chili chicken and beans and rice again or something. And I only had like 5 days in a row of it, but I was like, ooh, I don't know if I want this. And but also props to you, man. That's awesome.
That's like one of my favorite. I'm not gonna lie, it's one of my biggest flexes. Is I apparently have such low standards with food that I could eat the same fucking thing forever. I don't get as bored as easily. I'm starting to learn that, like, just in general, I feel like people our age, when they do cook, they're like, I don't want to eat the same type of food more than 3 days in a row. Like, I get fucking bored. And like for me, I don't know. I'm at the point where I'm like, it's free food.
I was just about to say, it depends on your income.
So I only spent $22 on the whole meal too, which is kind of insane.
Bro,
so
where were you buying your steak? Was it off the side of the road? There's no way.
What? No. Okay, I'm gonna be honest. $22 was a little bit of a guesstimate, but I went to like a Kroger store and I got. Well, technically, it's called.
You got 7 days worth of steak for under 20.
I got 5 days worth of steak, but I'm pretty sure maybe the steak was like $20, but the mashed potato. Okay, maybe it was closer to $30. Either way, 5 meals for $30 is beautiful.
That is pretty good.
I mean, it didn't cover like obviously what I ate in the morning and what I ate at lunch, but like I only eat 2 meals a day really. So I just had sandwiches for lunch, and then I had this guaranteed, so it allowed me to be more efficient with my time after work, and I got to work on videos and I got to work on podcast stuff.
You're insane, dude. That's awesome. Well, I was actually trying to just guilt trip you a little bit, which was perfect into my first point, because I was trying to say, $22, and like try to make you kind of feel bad, and you kind of actually fell for it, which is perfect, because that's one of the tactics that you should use to stay connected and to make a difference and to get the hell off the couch and try something new. So For me,
Manipulate people?
no, you manipulate. No, you have to manipulate yourself, not other people.
Oh.
But I was just getting at
Smart.
you. Yeah. It was a joke. Don't manipulate other people unless you want to. But that's manipulative, so don't do that.
Yep.
Okay, but what I tell myself, and this is like kind of unhealthy, but at the same time, it's how you get yourself off your ass. So, I say it's like now or never, or like I'll never know until I try it. And those are like common phrases that you obviously know and have heard a lot, but it's something that you think about and you're like, yeah, you're right. If you don't do it now, you actually might never do it, and you never know what you're missing out on. So whenever I look back at things that I thought were like scary or different, or I was like, just shitting bricks and I really had no clue what I was going to do. I sent it. I know I use that phrase a lot. I send it, and it usually pays off actually when you do it, because you realize it's actually not as scary or weird as you would think. And an example of that was when I was actually at my job at Texas Roadhouse. I was on their to-go team there, so I would just like work on packaging orders, bring it up to the window, and like you still made decent money, right? But I would always see the servers like stressed off their ass and like really scared like to like approach some of the tables because they're like, holy shit, these people are so mean. So for me, that like stressed me out a lot, and I was like, I don't think I'll ever want to move up to serving. But then obviously, I've talked about this a lot. I've been a server for about a year and a half, but it was one of the biggest moves and probably one of the most one of the biggest learning curves I've had to do in my life. I worked with so many like people that kind of brought me down, like random ass people like that were ass or really good, and it was one of the biggest moves. And I made a lot more money, but at the same time, I just did it. I just did it, Yeah.
So your advice is YOLO, because you'll make more money in the end.
No, YOLO, because chances, most time more than not, help you, I think.
Okay. So normally how these episodes go, we usually kind of have an idea of what we're talking about, just like some notes, as like every other podcaster has. And for this one, it's about volunteering. And I don't know if you know this, Ryan, but I have very, very, very little volunteer work in general. I guess that's contributing to like the career that I want. Like I've never done any free like social media stuff to get in a position to network and like do volunteer work. The only time I ever volunteered was in freaking high school. They make you do like 80 hours of community service for graduating in IB or whatever. And I did IB for the first 2 years of high school, which is like high school but on cocaine because it's so fucking difficult. And yeah, I had to do that hours. So to get those hours off, there was a thing with my school. I went and like built houses on, I believe it was the Sioux Reservation. It was in South Dakota. And then in middle school, I also went on another school thing and I built houses on the Navajo Reservation by the Four Corners. And those, so like I've done physical volunteer work, which no surprise, I fucking hate. Not the volunteering part. I hate the fucking physical labor part. I hate physical labor. Ryan and I are completely opposites. This dude called me and was fucking putting in a water system in the ground. Like, bro's a menace. And yeah, so literally that's like my perspective of like volunteering in general. So as a little questionnaire, Ryan, why do you volunteer? Or when's the last time you volunteered? Because I know it's probably not going to be that recent because you have work.
Yeah, honestly, the last time I volunteered was actually
was this podcast. I don't want to be here, but I don't. You don't even get paid.
You better Venmo me, bro.
Oh, I'll text you.
Okay, bet every 10 minutes, $10. So bet. Anyway, no, the last time I volunteered was probably for a family. It was like a family friend that was hosting this big dinner thing. And she needed my help and one of my friends' help. It was like a 2-night thing. I didn't really get paid for it at all. It was just more just like to help out. And
wasn't that volunteering? Don't you get
no,
paid?
Well, it depends because you can get paid like nonprofits. I worked in a nonprofit and I would consider that like volunteering to an extent, right? I mean, I know it wasn't like you weren't getting paid, but you could also get tipped based off that too. But no, what I was trying to say is, yeah, I just worked for like 2 days. I actually felt really good coming out of it because I met a lot of cool people. I got connected, and also gave back to like people that I actually kind of liked. So I met a couple people, or knew a couple people there that were just actually family friends, and it worked out, man. So, and you
Okay.
said, what was the last time for you volunteering?
Bro, nah, that's gonna make me sound so shitty. Okay, if we go directly to, you know what? I can't even. Like volunteering, where I signed up and it was like advertised as volunteering, literally would have been as sophomore in high school.
Wow.
That would have been like, and that's helping people that I had zero clue who they were. Versus like, obviously you could like volunteer and do something like you said for extended family or something. I guess I would volunteer my goddamn time when I was a video editor remotely because I wouldn't
That's
fucking
true.
charge as much as I should have. So like, that's kind of it. But no, it's been hella time. Besides,
Well, I
yeah,
will say my experiences are very limited, like you said. But when I moved to North Carolina, which is at the end of this year, actually, and I just know it's a great way to meet people, and I'll definitely be using the tactic of volunteering when I move there, because I won't know, I have no connections, right? I don't know anyone out there. I will hopefully find people that are kind of like-minded, and my like top volunteering options right now are probably in church or like with a soccer team or even like a restoration program. And what I mean by that is like something to do with the outdoors, because there's a lot of beautiful scenery out in North Carolina, a lot of beautiful places that you could easily volunteer and help out with, you know.
okay. I was just about to ask what places are you thinking, but like soccer was the one I don't even know how I didn't even think of. Like being like a coach for like kids or something, or
Exactly.
like a referee. I mean, well, no. Did you referee back in the day, or is
I
that
did
just
not.
me? Zach, yeah. I got paid for that, so not volunteering. I used to volunteer. No, I'm not even gonna bullshit. I would never volunteer to mow someone else's fucking lawn. I did that shit for $20, which is crazy that that's under minimum wage now. Because when
Well,
I would get
that's
paid $20 to mow someone's lawn, minimum wage was $8.
yeah, but that's minimum wage in Cali, bro.
Yeah, but minimum wage in Colorado is like what, 15.50? Still pretty close.
Yeah, true. What is it in Cali? 20,
It's 21.
21? That's insane. That's insane.
But it doesn't matter because even if you have a full-time job and you get paid minimum, you have to have two jobs to be able to live anywhere.
Yeah, it makes
So,
sense. And
pain.
like a car on top of that is crazy, but
Oh yeah, no.
yeah.
GG's.
But those are some of my like options that I'll definitely be exploring. I just want to find people that are hopefully young and excited about like their young professional life, and maybe they've just moved there too. You never know. But I figure, what else am I gonna do? Sit on my ass? And it kind of makes it full circle with my first point. But how I said like get your ass off the couch. That's why I was trying to get at that. So like having the feeling of guilt that I was kind of gaslighting myself with, it's a great motivator to get involved or make a positive impact and yeah, help out the community maybe a little bit while you're at it. And honestly, we lack it in this realm, but
Yeah.
I honestly want to push our own selves. I think that would be awesome to just get out there. So
No, that's a good just point in general. Also, like you were saying with figuring out ways. If you do want to like volunteer, I don't know what cause you like. Everyone's gonna have different causes of things they want to volunteer for, but like just something surrounding your interests. So, like you said, if you want to do volunteer work to meet new people, you could think, oh, well, one of my hobbies is soccer. So then I don't know, maybe you go to the YMCA that they'll have because everywhere basically has a YMCA, and you can sign up to like play. That's what I did, but everyone fucking sucked. Not skill wise, but I just didn't like no one took it as seriously as I wanted. And I'm not out here trying to be a try hard pro, but like everyone was just blaming everyone else for mistakes. And obviously I'm not a perfect player. I didn't fucking I didn't pursue it as a professional career, but like I don't know, I like to take things seriously, especially when I fucking pay. If I'm paying to do shit, why the hell would I half-ass what I'm doing? I'm paying for it. I'm paying to try and meet people to have fun. But say that doesn't work out, you could then go to the place and ask about like, hey, is there any like coaching opportunities for whatever, because I'm sure at the YMCA you don't have to, like when I was trying to find a job, there were YMCA jobs that were open for coaching soccer and basketball. And they literally just said you have to have like a CPR training thing or like some medical stuff that you have to have as like a prereq. But other than that, if you're just like really interested, especially with the internet now, like if you are interested about like finding places, I don't know, to go plant some plants or plant some trees. My dad would fucking be hyped about that because he loves plants. You can just go online and find like places in your local area, which sounds vague and cliche as fuck, but like if you really do care about like wanting to do that, spend your time doing that, then like you'll find it.
And it's not
which
just
I guess
all for your community. It's like it's also for yourself, you know? Like if you're living in a new place, like I just said about myself, like what else am I going to do? Just watch TV and just wait for something to happen?
No,
okay.
You're going to watch YouTube videos of people volunteering. That's how you volunteer.
Well, I even have an aunt actually that like she lives really close to all of us and we still like see her all the time, but she doesn't have or still doesn't have a job and hasn't worked for about 5 to 10 years because she's just crazy with stocks and everything. I don't know how she does it, but she lives off of that. I don't know how she does it, but basically she used to volunteer down at the Humane Society because she loved dogs, working with dogs and everything.
That's cool.
And she loved it, and she found a lot of people that she I think is like still friends with to this day. So I could be wrong about that, but I also know that she was over there volunteering for not even a penny and loved what she was doing, and it was better than sitting at home. So
no, that's really good. I mean, I guess it's kind of similar to like meeting new people in general, like doing your hobbies and you'll meet new people. But then if your hobbies, if you're also trying to figure out where to volunteer, you'll also meet people like you're gonna do when you move out later this year. One thing I did want to talk about, which doesn't tie directly to volunteering as much, but it is about staying connected and how to make like a difference. You probably gonna disagree a little bit with this, I think.
I disagree.
Because I'm okay. I won't continue the point anymore.
Okay, bye.
Could you imagine?
And that's all.
Staying connected is super important, especially in this crazy, ever-changing daily society that we have about technology going nuts. And at the end of the day, if you really care about wanting to either volunteer, you want to help out, you want to pursue something, you want to meet new people, you won't find an excuse for it. I feel like if you're wanting to volunteer, you'll probably run into finding excuses less. Because I feel like if you're wanting to volunteer, you're over the top, you want to help. And I feel like if you want to help, you're not going to be as stuck like, man, I can't find anywhere. I guess I'm giving up. But like, if you're just someone that wants to find like a place to play soccer and you try one thing, it's very easy to be like, man, there's no soccer here, or baseball or basketball or whatever. But social media is a very important aspect and tool to use. And I think it is essential, even though your opinion could be very different depending on how you use it.
No, I think it is essential. I think it is
because think about when the 2000s, like the tech boom was kind of starting. There used to be companies out there that were like, nope, we're not going to have a website. That's crazy. That's crazy. Because nowadays you can't even comprehend a business not having a website. Like that's a staple. You have to have a Facebook, you have to have an Instagram, you probably have like a TikTok if you're like reaching to a younger demographic, but like you have all these social media platforms, and of course you have a website, and you have people that you can contact almost 24/7 all the time, just trying to be as helpful as you can to the customer. So like that type of, I don't know, acceptance of change, I think is a good way of staying connected, because like you could sit there and be like, well, I'm not being successful because the world, and like you could blame a website and be like, I'm not going to change, but like either evolve or become extinct.
There are so many opportunities. You're so right about that, and I actually agree with you fully. Like, you just gotta try and get out there, and social media is your biggest tool for that. And I think it's a curse in a lot of ways, but not with connecting. And I think when it comes to connecting and getting out there, so important. I can't even imagine the world without that. We wouldn't even know anything about the world if it wasn't for social media. So, yeah,
I wouldn't know.
I agree.
I wouldn't know how to drink a chug jug in Fortnite.
Exactly. How to drink a chug jug in Fortnite. just look it up. Boom. You know the answer in half a second.
Also,
so.
you could probably look up ways to volunteer on ChatGPT. Now with like AI being pretty good with, not now, it's always been good within the last 2 years. But like if you really are out of ideas, use any other text bot or something. Like if you're literally determined to go help some people, you will find those in need because there's a fuck ton of people that need help.
Totally.
That's kind of motivating.
I agree.
Anyway, write that down.
Write it down, dude. Ask ChatGPT for motivational quotes. All right. Well, that's going to be all for today's episode on how to make a difference through volunteering and stay connected. Got a little bit sidetracked, but also, just get out there. And we hope you found our tips and stories very inspiring to an extent. I think we don't know as much as we would like to know, but I have friends, family members, also Will does too, that we just talked about that have got out there, and every small effort counts. You never know how much of an impact you'll make until you try. And make sure to tune in to this Care What People Think podcast on Spotify, Apple, YouTube, and all other platforms. And please leave a review because it helps us out so much. And thanks for listening. And remember, care what people think. We'll see you next week.
See you next week on 182.3.